Welcome to multiplying and dividing integers. And we're going to look at some new notation for multiplication, because as soon as we introduce x as a variable, right, we can't write x times x like this. X times x. That's just not going to work, right? So there's a couple of different ways that we're going to switch it up a little bit, and I don't know if there's necessarily a most common one. You can see them in the upper right. So just a dot in the center, that's what we'll use to represent multiplication, as well as a couple of sets of brackets. And so we'll use both of those methods. You won't see me use the x because I deal with a lot of variables. So what we have to remember with this, as long as we know our multiplication tables, is that when you multiply two positive integers, or two negative integers, you'll end up with a positive. So two of the same, you will have a positive. So -9 times -1 is 9. 18 divided by 6 is 3. -10 divided by -2 is 5. And 5 times 3 is 12. And so that's not super complicated, but remember, I just finished saying that when we multiply two negative integers, we get a positive, which is true. What do we get when we add two negative integers? Well, we get a negative. So we have to make sure that we have those kind of straight and we don't get them mixed up. One of each, and it doesn't matter if it's the first. We know if the negative's first or second, if there's one of each. When you're multiplying or dividing, you will get a negative. So we have -9, -3, -5, and -12. We're just going to talk a little bit about the 0. So no matter what we're multiplying, whether it's a positive or a negative number by 0, we will end up with 0. So -20 times 0 is 0. This next one is 0 times 4,623. 0 times 1 is 0, and so is -81 times 0. Now, dividing by 0 is, I think, a different one, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but I guess we'll find out. So 0 divided by a number, let's say 25. Right? What do you think that would be? Well, it is 0. If I have nothing and I want to share that nothing with 25 people, how much will everybody get? Nothing. However, when I have a number divided by 0, so now I've switched it, right? So what's 25 divided by 0? Well, some students will say 0. Some students will say 25. Well, let's think about this. If I have 25 pencils and I want to distribute them evenly amongst 0 people, how's that going to work? Not very well, right? So we cannot divide by 0. And if you have a calculator, that's impossible, by the way. If you have a calculator, check it out. So if you type in 25 divided by 0, it will say error. And I like to prove it this way, so give me a minute here. So we know that multiplication and division are opposite operations, right? You can see that right there. So in order to confirm that 12 divided by 6 is 2, we say, okay, well, 2 times 6 then, right, has to be 12. And we know that to be true, don't we? So that works out all right. Well, if we could divide by 0, so let's say 12 divided by 0, let's just say that was something. Let's just say we could get something for that, right? That's why I put that variable in there. Well, then the reverse would mean that x, whatever we got for x, times 0 would give us 12. What times 0 will give us 12? Well, we know that anything times 0 is 0, so it can't be done.